Good morning, dear students. Very good morning, and I hope you will learn much advanced learning in this literature section of the supplementary reader of class 11, The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse, written by William Saran. Here you have learnt about Adam and Murad, who were cousin brothers. And now I will tell you something more about Khosrow, who was a wonderful man, a man so carefree. How he lived, what were his traits, that you will know. But before that, I have to tell you something. What is that? That is about the things that I have prepared. This is about the word meaning, that is magnificence, that is excellence or glory. Mysterious, full of mystery, whose secrets are quite unknown. Longing, third, a strong feeling of wanting something. Humor, quality that makes a thing funny or amusing. Crazy, excited, very much excited. Mad also you can say. A streak, a part of person's character, especially an unpleasant part. Here, vagrant, wandering about. You can say capricious, changing suddenly and quickly. Homesick, what is this? Homesick, feels sad due to staying away from home. And a robin, it is a small singing bird with red breast. That is the vocabulary that I had tried to make you understand. Uncle Khosrow was an enormous man with a powerful head of black hair and the largest mustache in the sand jockeying valley. He is the man who was the largest man in this sand jockeying valley. A man so furious in temper, he was so irritable, so impatient, that he stopped anyone from talking by roaring. He used to roar so loudly. What was his natural refrain? What was his natural way of speaking something? That was, it is no harm. It is no harm, pay no attention to it. It is no harm, pay no attention to it, was his natural regular refrain. No matter what anybody happened to be talking about. Once it was his own son Eric running 8 blocks to the barber shop. Where did his son Eric run to barber shop? It was his son who ran to the barber shop where his father was having his mustache trimmed to tell him their house was on fire. Eric, his son, roared no. He said that his house was on fire. Khosrow sat up in the chair and roared, it is no harm, pay no attention to it. The barber said, but the boy says your house is on fire. So Khosrow roared, it is no harm. How can a man like him say that there was no harm in it? Pay no attention to it. It was a matter of surprise. Though the barber reminded Uncle Khosrow about the house on fire. His cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of this man. Murad's father was Jorab. Who was Murad's father? Jorab, Jorab, who was practical and nothing else. That is how it was in their tribe. A man could be the father of his son's flesh. A man could be the father of his son's flesh. But that did not mean that he was also the father of his spirit. Means here, his son can belong to the father, but the ideas, the mindset, that belongs to him. The distribution of the various kinds of spirit in their tribe had been from the beginning capricious and vagrant. Really, it was the idea. Here, his cousin Murad started singing as soon as the road. Everyone knew they were still in the old country where, at least according to some of their neighbors they belonged, they let the horse run as long as it felt like running. At last his cousin Murad said, "Get down. I want to ride alone." "Will you let me ride alone?" I asked. "Means here?" Adam asked. Murad said, "It depends upon the horse. The horse will let him ride." Adam spoke. And in this way, Adam also rode on the horse. He got down and his cousin Murad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, "Wazir run." The horse stood on its hind legs, snorted, and burst into such a furious speed that was the loveliest thing that he had ever seen. His cousin Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse. After 5 minutes riding this very white horse, he came back. He was dripping wet. The sun was coming up, means it was the morning time. Adam said it was his turn. Murad got off the horse. He leaped to the back of the horse. For a moment he knew the most awful thing, but the horse did not move. "Kick into his muscles," Murad suggested. And as soon as he kicked into the muscles of the horse, it reared and snorted. Then it began to run. It was a terrible thing that did happen. Instead of running across the field to the irrigation ditch, the horse ran down the road to the vineyard of Dikran Halabian. Dikran Halabian. Dikranhalabin. It is the name that you must remember. Where it began to leap over vines. He just leaped, and it began to leap over vines. The horse leaped over 7 vines before he fell. Then it continued to run. His cousin Murad came running down the road. What did happen to him? He was not worried about him. He shouted, "They had got to get that horse. It was the reason. So let them go to find it out." He continued down the road, and his cousin Murad went across the field toward the irrigation ditch. Both of them had to search here and there, and finally, after half an hour, they brought back the horse. He said, "Jump on. The whole world is awake now." Whole family was awake. Where they would keep this very horse. Hide him until tomorrow morning. He did not sound worried, and Adam knew that he would hide him and not take him back, not for a while at any rate. Where will we hide him? It was a question. So it has suddenly dawned on him that he had been taking these early morning rides for some time, and every day they longed to ride the horse. Who said anything about a sling horse? Anything is said. How long ago he had begun riding every morning. It was the reason, it was the time that they started thinking. Here, he was telling that it was the time that they were telling the truth, but they were found out. That is what he was to say. He did not want both of them to be liars. All of them knew that they started riding this morning. They walked the horse quietly to the barn of a deserted vineyard, which at one time had been the pride of a farmer named Fetwazian. Fetwazian. It was the name of a farmer, Fetvazin, Fetwazian. There were some oats and dry alfalfa in the barn. Oats and dry alfalfa, it's a kind of grass. They began walking home. Both of them started walking home. And here, when they came back home, I will tell you the next thing that happened, and I will tell you something more. Thank you, children, in this video.